cats old enough to catch their own prey gather here beneath the podcast for a clan meeting. Welcome to Paws and Clause, a podcast where we read the Warrior Cats books in chronological order. I'm Jill, joined by my co-host and trendsetter Scout, and today we will be discussing A Starless Clan Book 2, Sky. Hello, Scout. How are you today?
Hello. I'm a trendsetter today. That's exciting. I wasn't aware.
We today had a little draw like you're a kid again, hang out with some friends, and the last time we did one of them, Scout had shown off a lot of her poorly drawn Pokemon from memory.
Yes!
And therefore, today, I was like, all right, once I get the lining done on this coloring book page, I'm just gonna draw some poorly drawn Pokemon from memory. So I do credit Scout with reminding me of that as a option artistically, and it was so much fun.
Yes, I love this. I'm so happy. It is so delightful to do a drawing of a Pokemon from memory, especially like a really quick, just like a couple second one, and then compare it to the official artwork and just go, oh my god.
What I realized is I'm pretty good at remembering the general shapes of a Pokemon and the colors that they tend to use. I do not get the placement of the colors correct very often.
They shift around.
One of the ones that I showed a bunch of the pictures to other folks too, besides the people in our call. Everyone is obsessed with the Tangela.
I'm obsessed with Hi Tangela.
I was like, I know that Tangela has red in there. Is the red in the eyes? And so I gave Tangela red eyes. And then I pulled up a picture of Tangela, and Tangela has white eyes and red feet. So this Tangela has gotten incredibly high.
It's so funny.
Everyone is obsessed with him.
I love him so much.
And honestly, he's pretty great. I'm like, damn, I can't believe I'm giving him away. But also, I'm so glad that I'm giving him away. He gets to go to a good home.
That's beautiful. I will have to do some more of those because they are such a delight. I didn't do any today, but I want...
Scout did an incredible self-portrait today.
Aw, shucks. That was fun. It was a different kind of portraiture than I've really ever done, but it was applying skills that I've accrued, and it was fun. Recommendation from the podcast is just get together with some friends and put some lines on paper. It feels really good. It's really nice.
It's really fun. Just get yourself some markers and crayons and just like go at it.
Just go ham.
Don't use a pencil and an eraser. Just like fucking go for it. Like make mistakes and it'll turn out a lot better than you think it will. Genuinely.
Release your inhibitions. Feel the
rain on your skin.
Feel the ink on your page.
That's so true. So the fun thing about this, the way that we've been recording these episodes so far is because I just noticed the tag on Tumblr, is that Scout has not finalized the art yet.
That's true.
For the podcast.
The episode's coming out in 2 days. I have to do that.
Yeah, so the first episode of this arc is not yet released, but we don't have the art yet, which is like, I am not telling you to get the art done. We can release with no art. I'm not going to be upset. But it's very funny to me of like, we started like figuring out ideas after we read the first book, and then reading this one, and I'm like, Jesus, what in the hell? Like, there's so many things we could be putting on this cover art.
There's so much stuff.
Crazy. But speaking of covers, why don't you tell me how the prey is running?
Yeah, well, I do want to talk about covers, but before we talk about covers, do you have any food that you want to shout out this week?
I did some cooking this weekend.
Yes, that's right.
I made Japanese curry on Thursday night because I was batching it up this weekend. It was just me this weekend, me and the cat.
Hell yeah.
So I made some Japanese curry on Thursday. It was delicious. And then I made homemade vanilla scones this weekend because I had some of my friends from my library group come over for a nice little crafting, little crafternoon, basically.
That's so
we had
fun.
Homemade scones with sliced strawberries and homemade whipped cream. It was so good.
Like a good old Southern strawberry shortcake.
Yeah, very much so. Especially because I don't think I put enough vanilla in. Because they really don't like taste vanilla-y. They very much tasted like a shortcake.
Did you use like vanilla beans or paste or just extract? Yeah,
I used vanilla bean paste. Yeah.
Wow, I'm surprised because usually that gives you so much more vanilla flavor. It's hard to get that balance.
It also, I don't know how long we've had that vanilla paste for. It could have lost a bit of its potency.
Yeah.
And then that night I did eat most of the whipped cream just straight out of the bowl. It was really good.
Whipped cream rules. Whipped cream rocks.
It really does. I gave into my impulsive thoughts and I was like, I'm just going to eat this whole bowl of whipped cream for my dessert.
The temptation of whipped cream.
The temptation was there and I was in such a state that I could not deny it.
Listen, those of us who are not as sensitive to dairy, who are adults but can still handle it, I don't have like really any symptoms of lactose intolerance. I don't know about you.
No, not really.
Nice. So
if I eat something really rich and I eat too much of it, but it's never to the point of like being horrendous.
Right. It's never like I shouldn't eat this. Like this is poisoning me.
Yeah.
So I feel like if you have that gift, you have to embrace it sometimes by eating way more whipped cream than you really need to.
Just so much. But yeah, what about you? Did you make anything fun recently?
This week I made one of my favorite staples, which is like a beef curry with ground beef, potatoes, and peas. It got really nice. Like I cooked it a little longer than I normally would. And the potatoes got so soft. And it got really thick and rich because of all the potato starch sort of separating out from the potato pieces. Yum. And then I made 2 separate times in the past like week and a half, I guess. I made peanut butter cornflake bars. Have I told you about peanut butter cornflake bars? So it's
kind of delicious.
It's so good. It's insane. It's in the genre of a Rice Krispie treat, but you use cornflakes, obviously. And instead of the marshmallows, you do like a sugar and corn syrup mixture and butter that is boiled very quickly, just like brought to a boil on the stove, and then you add in half a cup of peanut butter and like a teaspoon of vanilla, mix that all up, and that's your paste, and then you put your cornflakes in it, and it's just, it's yum. If you like peanut butter, yum.
I do love peanut butter.
They're so good. And it stays crunchy. It takes a while to harden up. Like really, generally, they're not all the way hard until like fully overnight, but I just eat, I'll take it when it's still soft. I'll put it in a bowl. And just all of the cornflakes, they aren't adhered to each other. I can take it with a little spoon and I go, yum, 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 yum. Eat it up. It's really good.
Hell yeah. Wow, I love that.
I would highly recommend it sometime. I'm not even, I suppose, I'm sure there's some person out there who's a freak for a plain cornflake. I don't have particular... Yeah, go Jill!
I will fuck with a plain cornflake. I will admit that. As I have mentioned before on the podcast, famously, I do not really like sugary cereals. So yeah, I will, especially like, this is such a weird specificity for it, but like when I go to a hotel and there's just the continental breakfast.
Oh, you want to get like the little box?
Sometimes I'll just get like a little box of the cornflakes and that'll be like part of my breakfast.
Hell yeah.
If I'm like not feeling like dealing with like making an oatmeal or anything.
That's beautiful.
I'll just have some cornflakes.
I love that. There was a period of time after my parents and I moved to the LA area where for a couple of months we were living out of a hotel because we hadn't moved here with any housing lined up, and it took us a while to find an apartment. And I got so into specifically having like a cup of green tea and oatmeal with brown sugar and walnuts like every single morning.
Hell yeah, though. Dude, I've been making oatmeal for like most of my breakfasts lately. Mostly because it's been cold. It's not been cold the past like day or two though, but also because I'm like, it's just so easy.
Yeah.
It's so easy, and it's like hearty, and because my fucking ADHD medication fucks with my appetite, I get really hungry in the morning and evening, but I am like not hungry during the day. So having like a heavier breakfast like really helps to like keep me going.
That makes sense.
So I've been having a lot of oatmeal and just a little bit of brown sugar, and I always put a little bit of butter and half and half in there.
Yeah, a little bit of butter, a little bit of cream.
It's so good. I fuck with it. I love putting nuts in there too. I just don't have any right now.
It's good. You know, it's so like we got it as humans as a race, Americans especially as a culture. We don't need enough fiber. We gotta get more fiber in our diets, and oatmeal's a great way to do that. You know,
oatmeal's a fantastic way to do that. Eric hates on me for having oatmeal because he thinks it looks disgusting. But
there are many such cases when a slop looks bad, but tastes great.
I fuck with a slop. It's horrible, but I fuck with a slop. I will fuck up a slop.
Sometimes they talk about gruel in old movies and stuff, and I'm like, I want that gruel. I want
to try that gruel.
I want to be that baby that mom made the slop out of the Weetabix.
Oh my god!
And yogurt all the time.
Literally, I was being influenced. I was like, damn, maybe I should get some Weetabix. Like, I was like so invested in those videos. I don't know where they've gone, but like it is so... I was obsessed with watching those every day, finding out what that kid ate.
I wanted to eat everything that kid got.
And I wanted to eat all of those little Weetabix mixes with all the fruit and stuff. I was like, damn, that looks really good.
I've never tasted a Weetabix in my life, but every time I saw that, I was like, man, that looks so good. I don't know what's wrong with me.
I imagine Weetabix is kind of like shredded wheat, right?
Yeah, I bet it's got to be a lot like shredded wheat. I think it might be maybe like a slightly less processed wheat product. Like maybe it has the hulls or something.
It is 95% toasted whole grain wheat.
Whole grain, okay, yeah, I'm right.
Well, being actually high in fiber, low in fat, and low in sugar.
Look at that.
Huh, there we go. Damn, I kind of would try this though. The closest American equivalent is shredded wheat. Particularly the plain unsweetened varieties. The Weetabix is generally softer and less crumbly.
Interesting.
Yeah, that makes sense. I will fuck up some shredded wheat sometimes too.
It's fun to have some shredded wheat.
Again, I will just eat some weird stuff.
The big shredded wheats makes me feel like I'm a little mouse.
Yeah. Man, speaking of like little mouse and food, did you ever watch the Aristocats when you were a kid?
Yes. Are you thinking about...
Did you ever want to try creme de la creme a la Edgar?
I want creme de la creme a la Edgar so bad.
Good. It's just a fucking Ritz cracker dipped in cream is what it looks like, but it always looked so good.
It did. They made that shit look amazing. Okay.
Anyway.
15 minutes on food.
We've done it.
We've done 15 minutes on food. Thank you all for coming to our podcast.
About wheat. About Weetabix. And
about
shredded
Weetabix.
wheat.
Yeah, about shredded wheat.
About slop. Welcome to our slopcast.
Slopcast. Covers are going hard today. Welcome to Slopcast.
Yes.
This one to start with is the traditional Chinese language cover. This is Tiger Heart Star versus Dusk Fur, which happens at the end of the book. This rules. Yeah,
that's really good.
I love the brush strokes. I love the backlighting on Tiger Star. I'm obsessed with the way that Dusk Fur's claws are like cutting into his arm, his forearm.
Yeah,
there.
like almost like she's grabbing him.
Yes. The claws are extended so far on both of them. It's just a great action shot.
It's really good. I love the facial expression too that Tiger Star's got.
There's something very like anime about it in a way that I really appreciate. Yeah, I love this one and highlights one of a scene that I still don't know what to do with. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
And then we have the set of the serialized simplified Chinese releases. Much like last episode, the book seems to be released in 3 installments, and each installment gets its own cover. I just love this artist's style. I love the way these look.
I am finding so many things I'm obsessed with here. I'm
know.
obsessed with on cover 1, all of the catnip is so good. And we've got, I don't know which cat is down in the bottom right-hand corner, but they just look like they're like, delicious. Smells so good.
I think this is Spireclaw and Fringe Whisker, personally. That was my read on these two down here. But because it's Alderheart and Fidget Flake, because they also went on
because they all went on the thing.
They went on the journey.
I'm also obsessed with on cover 3. I imagine that's Frostpaw, just like fully like face palming. It's so funny.
It's incredible.
She's like, fuck me.
But I also really, really like Owlnose. I think that's Owlnose next to her in the sort of lower left.
He's like, oh, fuck.
Owlnose. I'm so excited to talk about Owlnose.
What a guy. I am very excited to talk about him.
I think the highlight for me is probably Bramblestar and Squirrelflight in the center, in the second one, who are just sort of both glaring at that Nightheart from behind these berry bushes.
I love how Bramblestar is like extending his neck down. It reminds me of, do you remember Ceiling Cat?
Oh yes, I remember Ceiling Cat.
The old Ceiling Cat meme. Wow. That's kind of what the vibe is for him.
Yes. I also appreciate that he looks like he looks older here, which he is. He's getting up there.
Old ass man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially every time that this artist renders Nightheart, I just am obsessed with the way that the light falls over his fur.
His cheeks. I want to rub his little ears. I bet they're very soft and velvety.
I bet they're soft and velvety. So yeah, these are great. I'm so excited that we get to look at 4 more sets of these.
Yeah, this is really fun. I think it's a fascinating choice to serialize them like that, but I also think the way these covers are done is so fun.
It's so cool. And it's so interesting to get the 3 separate covers that really end up highlighting the focal point of each third of the book.
Yeah.
Because when I'm just reading it, front to back, I'm not thinking too much about that it has sort of, distinct acts, but it does.
Yeah.
Like thinking about it and seeing these covers, it really puts into focus for me that, oh yeah, these do kind of have acts. They're sort of things that happen in the first, second, and thirds. Right. And kind of like micro narratives within the narrative a lot of the time.
I agree.
All right,
let's get into it.
Yay.
White cough turning to green cough begins to plague the clans, and despite the fact that it isn't yet leaf bare, the supply of catmint is practically non-existent. When Tiger Star's kit, Rowan Kit, grows ill, he calls for the clan's medicine cats to devise a solution. Fidget Flake recalls a lush 2-leg garden from the Sky Clan journey, and representatives from Thunder Clan, Shadow Clan, and Sky Clan head out in search of the precious herb. Why not River Clan and Wind Clan? Well, neither clan can spare their fully trained medicine cats, and River Clan is still trying to cover up the fact that they have no deputy or leader. Frostpaw continues to try and communicate with Star Clan about their choice, only for her mother to tell her that she must look beyond the obvious choices. This leads her to pick Owlnose, a young and somewhat inexperienced warrior, who in turn selects the equally inexperienced Splashtail as his deputy. The newly named leader struggles with balancing duties and the varying opinions of his clanmates, and things only grow worse when he is not given 9 lives by StarClan. Nightheart and Sunbeam, both members of the Catmint Expedition, begin to bond, and Nightheart, feeling frustrated with the weight of expectations placed upon him by his clanmates, begins to wonder if there might be a future for himself in another clan. Perhaps even one with Sunbeam. Further social clashes in ThunderClan, including accidentally getting in the middle of an argument between Bramblestar and Squirrelflight, lead the young Tom to finally decide he's had enough. After asking Sunbeam if she thinks he would be welcome in ShadowClan, the Tom leaves ThunderClan to join the clan amongst the Pines. Unfortunately, the delivery of catmint was too late, and Rowan Kit died the morning the patrol returned. Sunbeam watches as her mother, Berryheart, and several other cats begin to lay blame on Fringe Whisker, the former SkyClan cat, for bringing the illness to ShadowClan in the first place. She also learns that her mother set Fringe Whisker up on a patrol near SkyClan. And this is the final straw for the young warrior. At an emergency gathering, it is revealed that Misty Star and Reed Whisker are dead, and that Owlnose has not been granted the 9 lives of a leader. Mothwing continues to obfuscate the details of the situation, and the other leaders begin to discuss options for advising RiverClan. In the end, Fidget Flake comes to RiverClan to help Mothwing and Frostpaw, hoping that the presence of a full medicine cat with a connection to StarClan might be able to ensure Owlnose gets his 9 lives. Only the Tom decides he does not want the position as they approach the moon pool. Despite several statements to the contrary, Tiger Star winds up leading a group of ShadowClan cats to RiverClan's camp, forcing a takeover under the guise of helping them rebuild. So this is an interesting book.
Yeah.
Kind of a tough read at this current moment in time, I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say.
Just a little... This whole thing smacks of... Berryheart smacks of MAGA is the thing.
Berryheart really does smack of MAGA.
It's so... Yeah, it's really rough. Let's start broad. How did you feel about this book overall?
I found myself reading this, getting through it was very quick. I found it, as far as the mechanics of reading, I sort of just got into a flow state on Friday and, read almost the entire book that day, which was nice. But I also found myself not taking, I thought I didn't take a ton of notes, but I pasted a lot of notes in here. So I guess I did take notes. I thought I wasn't going to have all that much to say about it. But there's definitely stuff in here. I think that it's not a big, bombastic Warrior Cats book. It is definitely one of the ones where a lot of the conflicts are much smaller, more personal. But as far as one of those Warrior Cats books, I had a good time with it. I do agree with you that a lot of this stuff with ShadowClan is yee.
Yeah, it's kind of yikes.
It's pretty yikes, and I do have a note about this somewhere in here, but it's notable that this was being written. It came out in November of 2022, but a quick peek into the Erin Corner was that supposedly Kate was writing this from July to October 2021, which is the first year of Brexit, essentially. The UK had separated itself from the EU. And I feel like our primarily British writing team was probably feeling a sort of way about that. And I feel like that is probably where a lot of this stuff comes from contextually, which I think is really interesting. And interesting that it continues to be relevant here in America.
Interesting in a horrible way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. It was a short read. I just didn't find it. I feel bad because I really enjoyed the catnip plot. I thought that was a really fun thing. But what I said in the last episode, is expounded in this one, where it's I really just want to see what the fuck is happening in RiverClan. I feel like, here's the thing. I think this is such a juicy plot with so much that is going on around it, and there is clearly, Frostpaw has a moment in here where she's like, oh my god, everybody who's dying has been, somebody who's been going to be the leader. Is there a conspiracy going on? And it's such a fascinating thing, but we don't get a lot of Frostpaw chapters. So it's like we just get these little tiny snippets and we don't get a chance to like really chew on the potential like intrigue that is going on in RiverClan, I feel like, because we are also telling these other stories. And I think these other stories are good. I enjoy them. But if this arc had been like arc 1 where we had one POV character and it was Frostpaw, I would not have been upset.
Yeah. What's really interesting about the Sunbeam and the Nightheart stuff, to me, is that I think if their stories were contrasted with one of the other POVs, like if we had removed Twig Branch from Vision of Shadows and put Sunbeam there, like if their stories had been happening separate from the RiverClan story, I think that they are some of the strongest like just general like characters and interesting things are happening and like different stuff is happening with them.
Exactly.
But they're just up against, it's bad booking. They're up against the most incredible conspiracy shit happening with the murder mystery in RiverClan.
This is not a Barbenheimer situation. This is a situation of, oh fuck, we gotta change our release date because Silksong is dropping. Like it is. That is exactly how I feel. Like I do really enjoy exploring these stories that Sunbeam and Nightheart are going through, but I feel like I am not enjoying them as much as I could be because they are dominating the field of a story that I am much more interested in. Because
it's also tough because Nightheart and Sunbeam ended up being so connected in this book, and Frostpaw is truly Frostpaw is drowning. As is the
like she's just over there, and that is exactly the other thing I was gonna say. Like I think I would be handling having 3 POV characters and these 3 stories a lot better if Nightheart and Sunbeam's stories were not like so intertwined, because it really just feels like we're trying to push the Nightheart Sunbeam show. Meanwhile, the spin-off series in the background is so much more interesting, but it's not getting the funding.
Right, the B plot of the of like the primetime television series is the one thing you care about, right?
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that Nightheart and Sunbeam will become more involved and like actually interact with Frostpaw in the next book.
Yeah, I really feel like they need to have some cohesion with Frostpaw at this point, which, you know, with Sunbeam having been there at the battle in the end, I think will kind of help with that, but it definitely feels like the narrative is suffering a little bit by having Frostpaw be all by herself in terms of, you know, her own plot line.
Right. It's totally different genres, too.
It is. We've got a fucking modern day romance generational trauma drama. We got fucking This Is Us versus
Parenthood happening.
Yeah, we got Parenthood on one end and like the fucking West Wing on the other. It's 2 completely different things happening. And it's crazy. Anyway, so yeah, I see the potential in this book, and yet I am still like, structurally, I wish there were things that were changed. But what are you gonna do?
Yeah. I think that all makes perfect sense to me.
So I do want to start off, I know last time we talked a little bit about how a lot of folks how we kind of disagreed with the general, not general narrative, but like there is a lot of fans take a very trans reading of Nightheart. And I think it comes through a lot more in this book. Like I can see a lot more evidence for taking that particular reading of it. And again, I am not here to say you should not have that reading, because I think it is a great reading. Have it, have fun.
I think it's a great lens to use.
It is a great lens to use. I definitely don't feel like it is as strong. It's not as strongly supported with evidence sense as like our whole tree situation was. I feel like.
Yeah, I still feel like tree. I like tree reads more along those lines to me. I agree.
Yeah. The conversation with Nightheart and Sparkpelt where she is talking about like how upset she is about him changing his name. Like that is the moment I think that I was like, oh, that really is like, that's definitely something that like reads very trans, but the way that she says things very much more specifically reads to me as that generational trauma, family expectations. Like her whole thing is that I gave you this name because kin is important to me and it breaks my heart that it's not important to you. Like I don't get why you are like turning your back on this memory or this person. Like I don't understand why you don't want to be associated with us kind of thing is what it feels more like.
Yeah, it feels like what I'm getting from it is a lot closer to, like you said, a not community, but like the actual familial ties of it all, stronger than identity. It's more about it's about like family identity, collective identity, instead of specifically Nightheart's individual personal identity.
Yeah,
and there's a little bit of personal identity for Nightheart, but Nightheart's personal identity stuff is so wrapped up in expectation as far as being compared to Firestar, which doesn't...
rather than... Yeah. It doesn't feel as tied to, like, expectations of, for example, like, gender roles and stuff like that.
There isn't a lot of, like,
It doesn't feel like there's a lot of that. It definitely feels more family-related, personally. Hoo boy! They're not taking it well.
No, they're really not.
And I would say, cats having their names completely changed is not unprecedented.
It does, in fact, have a precedent.
There's in fact, a character in this book, who very importantly had that happen to her, way long time ago. But what do I know?
The one thing that you don't have to hand it to them with this, but I will say the whole Bright Paw to Lost Face to Brightheart is almost a narrative about reclaiming the name that she was already given, and that was taken away from her. So maybe you can't quite connect the dots in that same way, like as far as maybe the other cats in the clan are actually connecting Nightheart choosing to give away, like denounce Flame as part of his name as more like what Blue Star did to Brightheart versus what Firestar did for Brightheart once he had the authority to. But I know what you mean. As far as cats changing their names, yes, we have a historical situation for that. And in fact, we do have a specific... There was like a specific thing that One Eye whispered to Firestar in that first arc, or in The Prophecies Begin, that was about like, this is the words that we use for the name changing ceremony.
Yeah, which like we've just kind of forgotten about over the years.
Yeah, I do. Like, I wish I could say that ThunderClan's collective annoyance with Nightheart's name change feels super over the top and unbelievable. I think they are laying it on a little too thick.
I agree.
But I have seen this kind of thing go down. My mom changed her name in the early 2000s, and
I did not know that.
Yeah, my mom changed her name just because she did, like, her birth name didn't resonate with her, and she wanted and there was a lot of like also historical family trauma with it, and she wanted to just sort of like set that aside and have a clean slate.
Wow, I can't believe your mom is actually Nightheart.
She is. I have my mom's Nightheart. And it's after my grandpa, her dad, never called her by the new name after she got it legally changed. He always called her by her birth name, and just like never even acknowledged it really. So obviously these people exist, and I know that specifically for trans people who are also transitioning their gender as well as their name, it can also be a huge issue. But
I mean, shoot, it wasn't necessarily an uproar, but like I used to like my full first name is Jillian, and at this point Jill is only allowed for like people who I know and I'm close to. Like, everybody else does not get the privilege of calling me by that nickname. But when I was a kid, I always went by Jill. And so when I decided, like, hey, I'd rather be referred to with my proper name rather than my nickname, like, the amount of people questioning that decision was crazy. Like, my parents fully asked, like, well, why are you doing that? I'm like, I'm going into college, I'm meeting new people, I'm feeling a little bit more mature, I'd prefer to use this name. And it was just like 3-letter difference. Like, it was wild how many people, like, were kind of, like, making such a big deal out of it and, like, asking, like, well, I don't know what to call you now. Like, do I call you Jill or do I call you Jillian? I'm like, we've known each other for years, just call me whichever. Like, you are fine. This is for, like, people that I am meeting. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah, there's some sort of brain disease, I think, that people have about names sometimes. Wow. Yeah. That's even more, like, strange than the stuff with my mom and my grandpa. Just, like, 3 letters. Wow. Interesting. Fascinating.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I can't in good faith and in good confidence say that this is an over-the-top. Yeah.
It's not unbelievable, but it is being laid on very thick.
Yeah, it is. I think I would prefer if there were, like, at least 25% of the clan that showed
just, like, didn't give a shit.
A neutral, reaction to it. Everybody has a fucking opinion.
Everybody is pissed off at him. And you know what? Like, I go back and forth on Nightheart. There are definitely times where I'm like, sir, for someone who's, like, he's too me sometimes. Like, sometimes I feel like you are so entitled. You do not know how, like, lucky you are to, like, this be your problem. Look at fucking Frostpaw over here.
Look at what Frostpaw is going through.
Like, there are certain times where I'm like, Nightheart, check your privilege. Like, you need to chill. Because he does act a little entitled sometimes. Yeah. Like, there are times where he is very, like, why is nobody, like, paying attention to me? Why is everybody treating me like this? And I'm like, at some point, like, there are certain things where I'm like, yeah, you're definitely, like, being treated unfairly in certain moments. But he's also got this, like, he's such an unreliable narrator, I feel, because he's got this complex about Squirrel Flight and Lion Blaze, and he's, like, constantly thinking that they are judging him and that, like, Squirrel Flight is getting some sort of, like, she's getting off on the fact that he is, like, doing apprentice tasks, essentially. When the fact of the matter is, like, he's not the only one having to do apprentice tasks, but he is the youngest warrior, and, like, when there are no apprentices, usually the youngest warriors are the ones who have to do the apprentice duties.
Yeah, we have historical evidence that this is the way that it works. Absolutely. Yeah. And yes, you're so right. There is a scene when, like, 3 other cats are also assigned to do this.
Yeah. I will say, you know, there is a moment where he sees that the kits are allowed to help Daisy and Spotfur, and he's like, hey, what the fuck? Yes,
he's
you are correct for being upset about that. However, you maybe need to take a step back, bud.
Sometimes Nightheart really needs to touch grass.
He really does. And that's the thing with him is, like, sometimes I'm like, okay, yeah, your life does kind of suck ass right now. Like, you are kind of being bullied by your family. The fact that his sister was like, you're gonna give mom stomach aches. Okay.
That's strong. That one's a lot.
That's a little much. But, like, you know, there are some moments where I'm like, yes, you are correct. Like, people are treating you unfairly. But there are other moments where I'm like, not everything is about you.
There's absolutely moments when he is projecting this stuff onto interactions he's having. I feel like he regresses in the back third of the book, especially.
Oh, definitely.
Like, he was much more annoying in the back third than he was in the first 2/3.
Yeah, I agree.
I do want to say that it did piss me off that immediately as soon as this book began, there was, like, a backpedaling of the world state that we left the last book in, where the cliffhanger of the last book was Mothwing being like, we need to get help from the other clans. And as soon as this book starts, Mothwing's like, I've changed my mind. We do not need help from the other clans.
Actually, we should try and lie to them some more.
We need to lie to them more. We need to lie to them for a whole nother book and maybe a little more. It's so glaring that it almost feels like Kate getting the assignment to do this manuscript, looking at the end of the other manuscript and being like, Cherith didn't know what she was doing.
it's a real Last Jedi Rise of Skywalker situation.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh God!
It's like really
I actually don't want to do what you're setting up, so I'm gonna do my own thing,
and it's gonna go on for so long.
Rather than keep consistency, we're just gonna do what I want to do. Oh my God!
Yeah, that pissed me off. Generally, Mothwing's actions in this book, when contrasted with the way that she has acted and like her ideology in all of the other arcs, was frustrating to me at times.
Yeah, it really, especially the fact that like the way that she just keeps on lying.
What's up with that?
Like I get that the fact is that they don't want the clan to seem weak. And so saying like, oh yeah, we've been operating without a leader and deputy for a month now, like would seem that way. So like trying to like fudge the timeline and be like, oh yeah, you know, Misty Star died and then Reed Whisker died before he could get his 9 lives. And Owlnose is like, no, he got his 9 lives and then they took them all away all at once.
Mothwing and Owlnose, Mothwing did not give Owlnose they did not get the story straight. They did not lock in their story before that emergency gathering. She left that man out there to be destroyed. That man died on that branch.
The way that they all call her out when she calls him Owlnose instead of Owlstar, and they're like, now wait a second. Which, like, here's the funny thing is, like, I feel like if a cat suddenly became leader, I feel like there would be a time where people are, like, having to correct themselves and being like, oh, sorry, I mean Owlstar. Like, that happens.
Yeah.
But the way that the Warrior Cats books do it is, like, nobody makes that fuck up ever.
No, everybody is immediately locked in.
So fucking funny. It was so bad. It was crazy. That was so much.
It's wild.
The fact that Tiger Star called this whole thing because his kid died, and he was like, we need to figure out a plan. And then some other drama happens. He's like, no.
Yeah, he's
this
truly just like,
more important.
Forget about the Catmint. What do we do? What the fuck is going on over here?
What are you guys doing?
What are you guys doing? But yeah, once the actual deaths of Misty Star and Reed Whisker come out in the open, why did Mothwing continue to obfuscate the exact circumstances? What is she gaining by continuing this lie that they died of green cough instead of being like, Misty Star died of being old and upset and Reed Whisker fell into a hole? What are the... What's the thing?
Yeah.
What? Why are we still doing that?
Really
it just keeps
sense.
making things worse.
Yeah, I wish I knew.
I mean, I would say maybe... I just don't think that she actually has anything to do with the deaths. Like,
yeah, I think, like, again, if we were spending more time in RiverClan, like, I feel like if she were part of this whole situation, like, that could be a red herring that they, like, throw in or something like that. But we're not getting enough time for it to seem like this is on purpose. It feels more like this is a woman who is panicking and still grieving and has not been able to, like, sit with that. But yeah, it is rough.
Like, when Fidget Flake finds the store of dried up catnip that they forgot about that they had, and she just digs her heels in. That fucking sucked. That
was horrible. Like, that was such a bad moment. I mean, it was a good plot moment, but it made me like, it made me uncomfortable.
It made me feel ill.
It made me feel ill. It was
because the baby died. The baby died because of this, you know? Rough.
Yeah.
Though I will say in that moment, one of the things that Fidget Flake says, Mothwing is like, Misty Star was too old. The catnip wouldn't have helped her. And Fidget Flake is like, but Reed Whisker wasn't. Now, Reed Whisker
is pretty old.
Very much was old because Misty Star was ancient and she had him when she was like 2 years old. So Reed Whisker very much was old, but I understand. I appreciate where you're coming from. I understand the point you're trying to make, but he very much was that Tumblr post, they very much did kill Jesus. Reed Whisker very much was old.
He was 11 years old when he died.
That's old for a warrior cat.
That's ancient for a warrior cat.
They were talking all the time about how Yellowfang was old and grizzled, and she was like 7 when she died or some shit.
Yeah, let me actually look that up. So Misty Star was 15 3/4 when she died.
Mm-hmm. God, she was almost 16.
That's old for a house cat.
That's unbelievable. Yeah.
I mean, it's not ancient for a house cat, but that's like pretty old for a house cat.
It's pretty old for a house cat, yeah.
Yeah. Yellowfang was 8 years old.
Yeah.
My cat is 7 and she is spry.
Yeah.
Like 7 and up is technically classified as a senior, like an early senior cat. But like thinking about my own cat who is 7 years old, just yesterday was having the zoomies after going, after going and using the litter box, and she was like running around the entire house yelling. Like she is not infirm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Meanwhile, my cat that tragically passed away last year was like 16 or 17, and she was definitely like, she showed it.
Yeah, yeah.
Reed Whisker was not young.
No, Reed Whisker was not young for a warrior cat.
There's also, you know what, now that I'm thinking about it, there was some weird shit going on in RiverClan too with like that kind of harkened back to the Bramblestar Storm stuff where they're like, well, we just haven't had enough kits lately to like let everybody have apprentices.
Yeah,
it's
that's
like
true.
Okay, that's such a weird thing to like throw in there.
Yeah, very strange.
What are we going to do about the RiverClan birth rate? So weird.
We gotta get Paru Itagaki on this.
We really do. Come on, Queen. Come save us, Queen.
Paru Itagaki, come write about the declining RiverClan birth rate. We know you love to write manga about declining birth rates.
It's true. Yeah. So just very, very weird stuff kind of happening around here. I feel like I got very off topic, but anyway.
No, yeah, I agree. I agree with all of this. And I maintain that I don't think I said it outright, but the thing that frustrates me so much with Mothwing in this book is specifically how much credence she is giving to StarClan having a role in what's happening. And I can understand maybe part of that is just that she doesn't want the responsibility, and so she is feeling powerless and is trying to offload this onto somebody else. But she has for so long been so vocal about the clans having autonomy outside of the connection with StarClan, and it's been such an important part of who she is as a character. I just think it's kind of strange to have this be happening, and I guess she's just having a crash out. But I would have liked.
Honestly, Mothwing's not young either.
No, I cannot believe that Mothwing is still going
and still hot. Apparently,
still the hottest cat around. Yeah, there's just, RiverClan is statistically old. I think because there's nobody's ever over there.
They really are, because we never have had anybody over there.
Nobody's over there, so they haven't been keeping up, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. The light leap blaze fire sunbeam stuff was actually kind of killing me in this book. Yeah. I was actually like, it was kind of juicy because I was like, I knew she was getting with him.
I knew it.
I was like, there is no way.
There's no fucking way.
But like the moments where Sunbeam like finally starts realizing that she's over him, but she's still so pissed off at Light Leap are so funny to me.
It's really
She's like, why does everybody give a shit about what Light Leap thinks? Why does nobody care what I think? I'm like, Sunbeam, girl, calm down. You just yelled at your aunt for praising you too much. Like, you cannot have it both ways.
Please.
But like, literally the moment that she sees Blazefire and Light Leap together, and they like jump apart when they realize that she saw her. Oh my god. Y'all are not slick.
They are not slick.
It was so funny to me. They're just like, look, we really weren't getting together, but then we kind of developed feelings, and she's like, oh my god, I fucking knew it.
I fucking knew it. I can't believe this shit. Yeah, I like that stuff. I do feel really bad for Sunbeam. Because they are, that's a hard... Blazefire and Light Leap aren't doing anything wrong, except that I do feel like there is a particular kind of exclusion that is happening, not intentionally on their part, but there is, obviously. There's going to be like, oh, I feel, I'm the third wheel now. I feel a part apart from this.
Exactly. And I think, like, the fact that they both are like, yeah, we should stay friends with you, but
then don't, like, engage in that?
Yeah, neither of them make an effort to spend time with her while constantly spending time with each other. And it is definitely like, yes, you guys, like, there's nothing wrong with you guys getting together, etc. Like, you don't owe anyone a relationship. However, you need to, like, nut up and tell her, like, just tell her the truth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Everybody in these books is stop lying. It's not worth it.
Just stop lying.
Just stop lying. But it's okay because Sunbeam is already down catastrophic for Nightheart, so.
I am very intrigued by their relationship.
Mm-hmm.
It does not feel very romantic to me at this point.
Mm-hmm.
It feels very much like they are both looking at each other as like, oh my god, this is my way out of everything going wrong in my life, which is not necessarily a very healthy start to a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
However, I do appreciate, like, kind of a version that is, we're not doing the sweeping romance love at first sight thing.
Yeah.
And I do appreciate that. I appreciate them, like, getting to know each other.
Yeah.
Because we also have this fuck-ass, like, random throw-in of Frostpaw being like, ooh, maybe Splashtail will be my mate if I don't become a medicine cat. I'm like, okay, you're, like, 7 months old, first of all. We don't even know how old he is, like, because, as we've said, we don't fucking know anything about anybody in RiverClan.
Yeah,
but
true.
also, she is a child, get away from her. Like,
yes.
What is going on?
Splashtail's got some shit going on. Splashtail is absolutely involved in the conspiracy.
Oh, yeah, he's public enemy number 1, right? Well, no. Berryheart is a public enemy number 1. He's public enemy number 2.
Splashheart is suspect number 1 in the killing of Reed Whisker and maybe Misty Star. I'm not convinced that somebody didn't poison Misty Star.
I'm not convinced that the death of Curlfeather was an accident. There's
no way the death of Curlfeather was an accident.
No,
somebody went and got them dogs.
There.
Somebody lured those dogs there. Somebody pulled a Tiger Star OG.
People have been luring cats to their death with dogs for, like, since Arc 1, baby. This is, like, the 4th time it's happened. Yeah, no.
Cats love to use dogs as murder weapons.
He is definitely suspect number 1 to me.
Yeah.
I don't trust Duskfur either.
I don't trust
Something's
Duskfur.
going on with her. But yeah, he's acting very sus. There was a fucking moment, like, right after Owlnose got named leader, and there's a moment where
Splashtail is totally bought in on Owlnose, first of all.
Well, that, and there's a moment where, like, it's not immediately after, but it's not long after, where I think it's Mothwing and Frostpaw talking, and they're like, oh, we can ask Owlnose when he gets back. It's like, when he gets back, oh yeah, he went out on a patrol with Splashtail.
Yeah.
And I was like, alarm bells went off in my head. And then 2 pages later, there's a thing where it's like, oh my god, something bad happened. And it wasn't that Owlnose died, because that would be really obvious, I feel. But it was, I did for a hot second think, like, oh my fucking god, he went and killed him so he could take over. So much is happening.
Yeah, Splashtail, suspect number 1. Oh, what do you think about the stuff with Frostpaw thinking that she doesn't actually have a connection to StarClan?
I'm still pissed off about it. Yeah. I don't know what the fuck is happening, but I'm pissed off.
I really hope
they don't have to give her the answers, but can we please not repeat this plot line?
Yeah. I am very confused by this specifically because in the last book, she did speak to Leopard Star at one point, who is a cat that she has never seen before. She was born after Leopard Star died, way after Leopard Star died. She would have no context for who Leopard Star is. Yeah, so she has spoken to StarClan, and if they're going to write that off as she has been, like, her mind palace is so strong that she's been imagining all of this stuff with StarClan, that's going to really piss me off.
Yeah, it really is frustrating me that she is, like, constantly getting, like, fogged when it comes to, like, trying to talk to StarClan. Like, she just doesn't ever get to see anything. I'm like, can we not?
Can we please do something?
Like,
Can we?
We don't, and like I said, we don't need them to give her an answer.
Right. Just talk to her.
Just talk to her.
Just talk to her.
Because it's continuing that precedent that I didn't like that they set with Shadow Sight, where it's like, oh, you have to have a innate connection with StarClan to be
That's
a medicine
exactly
cat.
what I was
You
about
can't
to say.
like forge a connection. And it's not like the only cats who ever see StarClan cats are medicine cats. We have had moments, plenty of times, where cats that are not medicine cats, hell, the fucking New Prophecy was all about the fact that each of them had a dream and they're all normal cats.
Yeah.
Like,
and also, like, Yellowfang started out as a warrior. Cinderpaw started out as a warrior apprentice. Cinderpaw specifically became a medicine cat apprentice because she was disabled and couldn't do warrior tasks. And because Yellowfang took a liking to her, that was never something, she wasn't like fated to be a medicine cat, that she didn't get some sort of crazy vision about it, but she still was able to transition into that role. Puddleshine, they just fucking pulled him out of a lineup.
they sure did.
Like, it's not even Whistlepaw, I think Kestrel Flight's apprentice is also a cat where he was just like, Whistlepaw is interested in medicine. It wasn't some
like, that's what
big
it used
thing.
to be like too.
It can just be that. Like,
we had fucking Mudfur was a warrior who then was like, no, I think I'm done killing people and I'd rather be a doctor. And it's like, okay, fucking, this is why I'm like, they're getting too obsessed with StarClan in a way that is not interesting. It is in a way where they are continuing to prop StarClan up as like a solution. Like, it is getting too religious in that sense of like them being a higher power with authority on everything. Instead of like previous arcs, like having plenty of cats who were like, oh yeah, they just spent a lot of time in the medicine cat den and that's just kind of where it sort of led to for them, and then they developed that connection with StarClan later on. I love Jay Feather. I feel like this problem started with him.
This problem started with Jay Feather. It unfortunately did begin with Jay Feather.
And ever since Jay Feather, they always have been like, well, we have to give these cats a reason to be a medicine cat because we have to make it so super special. And it's like, make it special, make the thing that's special the fact that they're supposed to be more loyal to helping people than to their own clan kind of thing. Like, go back to the fact that they are supposed to be healers and advisors as like part of their job and not just, I'm the one guy who can talk to the dead.
Yes, absolutely.
It feels reductive. Anyway, that was a rant.
No, I think it also weakens Jay Feather's whole story too, because the whole point of Jay Feather was that he was like God's most specialist boy. So then if you begin saying everybody has to be God's most specialist boy, then that also takes the teeth out of that Jay Feather was like the primo God's most specialist boy. Now it's like everybody gets to be God's specialist boy. We already did that. I don't need, stop making him God's specialist boy. Just please, they can like medicine. Just they want to be doctors. Let Doogie Howser cook. Going back to Nightheart and Sunbeam briefly, I did want to say one of the things that I really like about their whole thing is that we have never had the luxury of getting a cross-clan romance in one of these books and having the cats ever thinking about anything about the relationship other than this is a cross-clan romance and it's forbidden. Like the fact that we have introduced this new rule that allows cats to switch clans to be with other cats that they love has removed this barrier that was keeping the characters from thinking about like anything else about about their partners and the relationship.
Absolutely.
And that's so fun, and I'm so happy to be seeing that and be like, oh my god, they have more thoughts.
Yeah, I think that is kind of what I was trying to get at too, with like the whole like we are not immediately like head over heels falling in love with each other. Like we are seeing them develop their opinions of each other before like deciding to get into a relationship. Because even when Nightheart is starting to think about it, he's like, maybe we could be mates someday. Like he's basically like thinking about it as a green card marriage at first. He's like, you know, maybe we could do this and like we could make it work. And so it is a different way of looking at these cross-clan relationships, and it's so refreshing.
Yeah.
To not be like, we have to sneak around.
Yes.
In this one, he has to sneak around because if he's not sneaking around, he's actively worsening another marriage that is like currently using him as a pawn, dude, in their divorce hearings.
One of my all-time favorite scenes in this book is Nightheart literally like sitting there watching a marriage fall apart in real time in front of him, and his internal monologue being like, guys, this was supposed to be my big moment. What about me? Nobody cares. Nobody cares that I was going to be cool.
Nobody cares about me.
Nobody fucking cares that I was going to be so cool and I was going to blend into the shadows and I was going to do a special mission. How can nobody care about this? It's so funny.
It's so funny. The way that, like, whatever, like, Bramblestar is fascinating to me. This man needs to quit his job.
I know.
He needs, like, I sympathize with him. He is 100% got, like, crazy PTSD. However, but men will do literally anything except go to therapy.
He needs to go to therapy. He is so like, compromised at this point. Like, he really does need to get out of this position.
Yeah, he is not. The fact that, like, Nightheart has to, like, pull his bed out from underneath him in order to, like, take it out of the den. And Bramblestar just, like, looks at him, like, blankly. I'm like, it is gonna be so much better for your marriage if you quit, dude.
Please.
Like, we need him gone.
We need him to quit. All of that stuff works so well for me.
And the way, like, the end of one of the chapters is Bramblestar approaching Nightheart and being like, you can't tell Squirrelflight about this.
Yes!
And I'm like, okay, Ash Fur Ass, like, you need to chill.
And I think the thing that's so interesting about that particularly to me is that it feels like it's a retaliation against Squirrelflight because Squirrelflight did the other thing where she didn't tell Bramblestar something, right? So it is so petty in a very personal way. All of that stuff works so well for me. I am fascinated by whatever the hell is going on in Bramblestar's brain. I sympathize and empathize with him also. There are some moments where I am so deeply, like, desperately like, oh my god, Bramblestar, buddy.
Yeah.
There's moments when he is just like dead-eyed. Like you said, he's like staring at the wall in that scene where Nightheart comes to change his bedding. He is like genuinely devastated when he finds out that his suspicions about Squirrelflight are true. When he sort of tricks Nightheart into telling him that they did go to WindClan to talk about the shrew incident, and like his face falls because he's like, oh, I really thought that I was just, you know, on one, but it really is this. And it also feels like it's really highlighting the different kind of leadership styles between Bramblestar and Squirrelflight, which they've always had. Now it's just pushed to a particular like edge because Bramblestar has gone through all of this stuff, and he has become more passive. He has always been a we'll wait and see kind of leader, and it's gotten even stronger at this point.
I agree. Oh boy. The moments where Barry Hart like starts leading everybody in this conversation. Like she brings Sunbeam to her QAnon meeting.
Yeah.
And they're like, I hated that so much. It was very, like, it was a great scene, but it made me deeply uncomfortable.
It's too real. It's too real. I don't want to be here.
This is the way Sunbeam is, like, pointing out facts, and they just are steamrolling over her with, like, their conspiracy theories and their, like, opinions and things like that. Like, there's a moment where she's like, well, all the clans get green cough, and they're like, they used to keep it to themselves. I bet they've had it since Greenleaf. And Sunbeam's like, we don't know that. They just are riling themselves up into a frenzy, and then they throw Fringe Whisker under the bus.
It's scary. It's scary because of how real it is and how this is some shit that happens, that is happening actively.
There's like the Whirlpelt 2 says something that's like, the test was too easy, that like stank to me of, well, if they just came here legally.
Yes. Or even, I bet that there are people that say that about the test to become a U.S. citizen also. There's absolutely, this is like absolutely reflective of things people say about people taking the test to be U.S. citizens also.
Yeah. Which, from what I know, that test is hard as fuck.
That test is hard. And also it's weird. Like,
yeah. But I will say, like, the moment that Sunbeam, like, really solidified herself as, like, a character that I enjoyed a lot more, I really loved the moment where she stood up to her mom and she's like, I don't want to be involved with this. Do not fucking talk to me about it again.
It's so,
I was like, no contact queen. Let's go.
Great. Yeah.
It's so good. Especially because she, like, goes to Fringe Whisker and Spireclaw in a sense, and she's like, I like that you're here. Like, I support you. I am glad that you are here. My brother loves you, and that is what is important to me.
Mm-hmm.
And she just feels like such a admirable character in that moment of like someone who is able to stand up to a cat that she really, I mean, that's her mom.
Yeah.
That's like, they've generally had positive interactions. But yeah, it was a rough one. That was a really rough read for me.
Yeah, I totally agree that there have been a lot of perspective characters across the series where the instinct of the writing team is to, as soon as like an oppositional perspective is introduced to that character, they have a period of totally buying into it. And I really, really appreciate that Sunbeam is immediately like, no way, no fucking way. We had a little bit of that where she was sort of pushing back against stuff on the catmint mission, but that was really just like one moment. And even in her internal perspective in that moment, she was like, oh, I actually don't like the way that I sound when I say that. I'm thinking about, I'm trying to empathize with my mom in this moment. And in doing so, I sound a way that I don't actually stand for.
Yeah, 100%. I only have one more thing, and that is the very end of the book. So,
what the fuck is going on? What's he doing?
For someone who really doesn't want to be seen as his ancestor, sure is pulling a lot of Tiger's Heart Prime moves here. The fucking way he comes in here and he's like, we're here to help you. This is for your own good. And they're like, we don't want you here. And he's like, oh, I guess then I'm gonna have to beat you up. Like that's not a choice.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
Dustfur is literally like, surrender or die. That's the choice. Like, sometimes cats need to be shown when they need help. Like, yikes. It's so bad. It's what happened to him.
What happened to him?
Because he literally yelled at Berryheart and was like, I'm not gonna fucking do that because everybody thinks I'm gonna do that and therefore they won't trust me if I do that. And then he goes and like 10 pages later fucking does it.
Why did he do this? Like, I was stupefied. I was stupefied by this. I don't understand the way that we got here.
I literally do not understand why he did that.
I'm so baffled by this whole thing, because it really is. It's literally like Tiger Star being like, no way, I'm not going to do that, because they think I'm going to do that, and I don't want
literally destroy all of the goodwill that I have.
Right, and then he just goes and destroys all the goodwill. He's like, what are you doing? He's been a good leader, like he's had his moments where he's been bizarre, but overall,
he has generally been a fairly empathetic dude.
And he has often been in support of, like, doing things for the good of all the clans. And I just don't feel like his actions here are showcasing that he has all of the clan's best interests at heart. And it's confusing. I'm confused. Yeah. I also feel like it ramped up very suddenly.
It was out of nowhere.
Like, even the chapter started, and I was like,
same day. Yeah, it did not make any sense to me.
So yeah, I don't know.
I don't fucking know, man.
I'm interested to see what the next book does with this, because I'm left adrift. I'm left adrift here, being like, why are we doing this? What are we doing? Why?
Yeah,
for why? For why?
For why? For what reason?
For why?
What was the reason?
Okay. The last thing I had was just that I liked seeing the horrors of a cat's perspective on like a state fair / summer festival, or maybe it was just a food truck night that had a ride, but there was definitely people on a ride at one point, because he was like, oh my God, those humans are strapped into that thing and they're being flung around and they're screaming.
Yeah, it was wild.
And then the next morning they wake up and it's all gone was also very scary. Like, there's a horror movie in there. It was very funny.
It was a fascinating decision.
I liked that little tidbit in there. I liked that they stole a chicken. Just like why was there a whole roast chicken on the ground? Who dropped that?
Anybody gonna eat that?
Anybody gonna eat that? But yeah, that's what I got. You got anything else?
No, that's it for me.
All right. Quick dip into the Erin Corner. As I said earlier, according to comments that Kate left on her own blog, she began writing this around July 2021 and finished it in October 2021. I always like hearing these timelines, get to see a little bit more into the manuscripts. I've said before, I'll say it again, very impressive timelines on these, just a couple of months to write these books. I mean, I know that they're not, it's not like they're high literature or anything. It's not deeply complex literary fiction, but it's still a lot of words to write. I'm curious. I wish I knew if this included the editing or if this was like the first draft zone, but considering that the book came out, it came out in November 2022, so I would guess that this is the first draft zone, and then the editing happens. But I wonder how involved Kate is in the editing, or if it's like totally sort of handed off to another editor.
Yeah.
Because they gotta write so much. So Mothwing here with River Clan is the first time since Running Nose and Shadow Clan in the Prophecies Begin that a medicine cat has had to take over leadership duties due to near simultaneous death of leader and deputy. I was reminded of this when I was looking for fun facts to bring up about, this arc and stuff, and it made me think of, again, how much this Tiger Star 2 scenario is mirroring the Tiger Star scenario, because this is exactly what happened. He came in and took over Shadow Clan. This isn't even just like the time that he sort of strong-armed Leopard Star into combining Shadow Clan and River Clan. This is also his original takeover of Shadow Clan, was coming into a weakened clan and taking over the whole place from the medicine cat.
Yep.
I wonder if any of these things are intentional and if they will be sort of brought up and paralleled further. I'm curious to see.
Yeah, I'm very fascinated to find out what how we're gonna continue on from this, whether we're going to get an explanation or not.
That's all I found for the Erin Corner today. Again, there's some stuff that's going to be saved for sort of the end of this arc. What about sharing tongues?
So there's not a ton.
What does berry fart mean?
I just saw people calling her berry fart. I just thought it was funny.
That's good.
We've got Mothwing and the rest of River Clan trying to convince the other clans that nothing is wrong has the same vibes as there is no war in Ba Sing Se.
Yeah.
There is no leadership issue in River Clan.
There is no leadership issue in River Clan.
We have another one of it's a very crunchy JPEG of someone having drawn a Nightheart with a whole chicken in his mouth.
Yes.
It says the hunting ruse was a distraction. I have the chicken.
I really like that one.
I really liked them taking the chicken. I thought that was hilarious.
It was so funny.
Then there is this one. Been thinking about the Catmint Patrol getting yelled at by a mother and her kid, but their only reaction was, boy, why are you so ears? It was so funny. I loved the fact that they came across a purebred cat, and they were just like, what the fuck is going on with their ears? Why are their ears so weird?
They're like, yeah, why are their ears so round? Why they got round mouse ears? What are you, fucking mouse cats? Weird-ass mouse cats?
Weird-ass mouse cats?
It was killing me. I was trying to think of what breed specification they could be talking about. Like, is it a Scottish fold ear? But then they would talk about them being, like, folded.
Cats with rounded ears.
It could be a fold thing.
It could be like a Scottish straight rather than a fold.
Oh, what is Kinkalow? Is this real?
The Scottish straight breed is characterized by short legs, compact body, with straight ears that have rounded tips.
Oh.
They're Scottish folds, but without the fold. They've just got like the round ears. There's also something called a Toiger, which seems to have rounded ears.
Oh.
It also could be like a curl.
Yeah, which I see curl, feather, and all by like just generationally, because Frostpaw is Curl Feather's child. I see them with curly ears in my head.
That would make sense. Yeah, okay. I think I'm gonna go with Scottish straight. I feel like that's probably...
I think that makes sense. Anyways.
Regardless, very fun to think about warrior cats interacting with purebreds.
Yes, it's very fun.
And we have this image of very awkward Nightheart, and it says this guy graduated high school at 20 years old. Super senior Nightheart. Then we have somebody's theory post of if Mothwing becomes leader of River Clan, which, again, I feel like could be an interesting angle, but she's also so old. But somebody, this post did say, wouldn't it be poetic fucking justice for Hawkfrost and the Tigers if Mothwing became leader when Hawkfrost literally could not?
Oh my god!
And then she could be the first reasonable tiger spawn leader.
Oh my god.
Shots fucking fired. And then we have the one that you chuckled about when we first logged on today, which is what's wrong with Bramblestar 2 Electric Boogaloo.
There's something wrong with him. Help that man.
Help that man. I will say, unfortunately, this arc having coming out when it did, kind of coincided with a lot of the, like, rise of conservatism in fandom spaces when it comes to content, and it does seem to show a little bit in some of the stuff that I saw in the thread. Just a lot of just the general people being fucking stupid on the internet. We all know what we've rehashed this over and over again.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of that in the tag, and I was just like, okay. It's very clear that it came out around that time when we've been seeing, like, we still are, obviously, seeing, like, a rise of people not having the, I hesitate to say maturity, because it's not just an issue of maturity. It's it's an issue of, like, willingness to engage with subject matter that makes them uncomfortable.
Right.
In a way of that, like, does not immediately shame people for everything. So it was just, there was a lot of stuff in tags that I was just like, oh my god, okay.
Yeah.
So very clear to me that, like, this arc unfortunately did kind of come out when that was starting, because it really ramped up during COVID.
Yeah.
When we were working on notes, AO3 had unexpected downtime today.
Rip to AO3.
I did not get any AO3 notes. It is back up by this time, but oopsies. And Storygraph, we had 3.84 stars with 278 reviews. I feel like that's a lot higher than I expected expected.
Mm-hmm. It's higher than a lot of the books from last arc, I think.
Yeah. Especially when I saw a lot of reviews, although I guess, most people who write out reviews feel very strongly in either direction.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But there were quite a few reviews with the similar sentiment of this one that said aggressively okay.
I think that's probably about right, It's
it's not a bad book.
Yeah.
But it's not like the greatest Warrior Cat book that we read.
Honestly, I wonder if a lot of my this was so easy to read and I generally had a pretty good time with it is influenced by the fact that it was the first thing I read after finally DNFing a book that I was not enjoying and struggling through for a week and a half. And I was finally I'm done. I've read over 280 pages of this and I can't do it anymore. There's 67 pages left and I'm not fucking doing it anymore.
Honestly, possibly.
Could be there. Anyways.
And then we have another one, which is very similar to what we have said. And
because this is my review.
Meme sketch that you... Oh, is that really?
This one is my review.
Fuck! I didn't even realize this is Scout's review. I was just wow, damn, this is so accurate.
This is why I wrote this review and then immediately went and did that drawing.
Fuck, that's so funny.
The review I wrote is Nightheart and Sunbeam over here enjoying the gentle drama of a pretty cut and dry cross-clan relationship story. Meanwhile, Frostpaw is fighting for her damn life as her whole world disintegrates. It's true.
I was wow, this is just like that meme that Scout drew. And now I'm like, oh, well, of fucking course it is.
Yeah, because I wrote this and immediately made the connection to Steve having the time of my life. Steve is drowning. This ain't about him. A classic. And drew that with our trio.
Incredible stuff. But yeah, there's not much I had here for the fandom side of things that I could find. But what a fun time. I am gonna start using Berry Fart. I think
Berry Fart's good.
Berry Fart is good. Let's get into our Warrior Cats of the Week.
Hell yeah. Tell me about yours.
My cat of the week is Sunbeam, our no contact queen. I just really liked the scene where she stood up to her mom and I was like, damn, you go girl. Fucking loved it. I really enjoyed her character in this arc. She really grew on me.
Sunbeam was she was a runner-up for me. I really, really liked Sunbeam here.
I feel like she had a lot of growth.
She did have a lot of growth, yeah. I'm a big fan.
Who's your cat?
My cat is...
It's an awfully long black bar there.
Yeah, so it's Bramblestar because everything going on with Bramblestar is fascinating to me, and I was really locked in on that stuff. Mm-hmm. I'm so interested in his psychology and whatever the hell is going on in that little noggin. And I've always been somebody who is, I think I'm a Bramblestar sympathizer, if you could call me that. But I've always been Bramblestar always really fascinates me. I think there's so much baggage and trauma in his whole damn life that he just keeps having to deal with over and over again in different ways, and that's all interesting. And it's interesting to see all of that kind of coming to a head. And then I wanted to give an honorable mention to Owlnose because, oh my god.
Fucking incredible, man.
Sopping wet, man.
Sopping wet.
Absolutely.
The most pathetic man ever.
Cannot do shit. Cannot make a decision of his own. Unbelievable. Just no notes. Make him a wife guy. Make him a stay-at-home dad. Do something with him. Get him out of here.
Get this guy out of the position of power. He does not want to be here.
Get this guy a boss wife. Let him live his life.
Yeah. We need this guy to be a male wife instead.
Please let him be a male wife. He would thrive as a male wife. But yeah, especially the scene where Mothwing put him out to fucking dry on
that poor guy
in the gathering.
He did not deserve that.
He didn't deserve it. So that's it. Shout out to men who can't lead.
Hell yeah.
And shout out to no contact queens.
Hell yeah. All right, let's head on out.
That's an episode. If you have thoughts, opinions, questions, or memes to share with us, you can write to us at pawsandclawspod@gmail.com. That's paws as in what a cat has, claws as in the part of speech, pod as in podcast. We are also on Blue Sky at Paws and Claws and on Tumblr at Paws Clause Pod. Listeners who are 18 years and older can come join us on Discord, which will be linked in the show notes. We are brought to you by the TWG Podcast Network, which you can find at theworstgarbage.online. You can find me on Tumblr or Blue Sky at Humble Goat and see the art that I do, including our podcast cover art, at scoutwilkinson.myportfolio.com.
And you can find me on Blue Sky at plot-twists or on Tumblr at antique-romantic. Our next episode will be out in 2 weeks, where we will discuss A Starless Clan Book 3, Shadow. Read along by buying the book from a local bookstore or checking a copy out from your local library. Until then, dear listeners, may StarClan guide your paws.
TWG, the worst garbage, online.